Love at the Parade, also known as Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, is a really enjoyable film. It's very easy to watch with very likable protagonists. I did feel for the most part the narrative just wasn't really developing for about half an hour. Nothing happens, but then in the final third of the film, everything kind of made a lot of sense. We started to see different changes, and I was left feeling that ultimately the narrative was pretty well developed, if a little slow. This was released originally in 2012, directed by Ron Oliver, and stars Autumn Reeser as Emily and Antonio Cupo as Henry. We also have Ben Cotton as Brian. And what's quite interesting is that Emily meets Henry, and we have this classic holiday rom com romantic leads, will they, won't they? But at the same time, Emily's already in a relationship. And I never got the sense that she would cheat on Brian. So I really wasn't sure what was going to happen with this. And she's pretty confident she's about to get engaged, and Brian seems to be suggesting he's going to ask her this big question. So everything seems to be in place for Emily. And I really had no idea where the narrative was going. And that part of it really did keep me engaged. Even when the pace was quite slow, they didn't reveal anything too soon. They didn't give the game away before we had a chance to fully enjoy the story, and I really appreciate that. So even though the pacing wasn't great, the mystery element was still there. And Emily is really likable. She's currently putting together the Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I will say we didn't learn too much about that. I would have liked to have spent a little bit more time on the parade to get the sense of this holiday feel. But what we got when we did have it was pretty decent. So credit where it's due, they did those scenes well. I just wish they had more of them. And Henry is a really likable character, and I think both are relatively well written, well developed characters. They have a really good on screen chemistry. It seems to tick all of the right boxes. The only problem with the film is that it's a bit slow. And it mentioned the cat food one too many times. That might seem a bit random out of context. It makes sense within the narrative, but I think they mentioned that a little bit too much. It was quite repetitive in places. I'd say the middle third of the film was repetitive and slow. But because the characters were really likable, I kind of didn't mind that too much, as long as it didn't continue to be like that and we actually got some conclusions and some answers. Then I think it was absolutely fine. So I enjoyed it. If you're looking for a holiday themed rom com that's easy to watch with some likable characters, good performances, and generally a decent narrative, then I'd say Love at the Parade or Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade is definitely worth watching.